CNN hosted a town hall, and Donald Trump answered a few questions from audience members. One audience member had the audacity to ask him a question that many women have been wondering about. Take a look.
Throughout the course of this campaign, you've said some disparaging comments about women, about people from other countries, other religions, and about everybody who's disagreed with you. Explain to me how I can look at my daughters and have them look up to a President Trump as a role model.
Well, first of all, nobody. Who asked you to give this question? Did Anderson? No. This is a CNN. By the way, this is a CNN setup, but that's okay.
It's not that.
That's a CNN setup. So he started off by getting very defensive. I mean, look, you're running for president of the United States, right? So you shouldn't have such a negative reaction to when you're doing a town hall and the people ask you a question that they genuinely want to know the answer for.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't think that it was set up by CNN. All those questions are vetted by CNN. They're not just going to allow people to ask whatever they want on the spot. And I think that was a perfectly fine question for them to allow.
Yeah, he gets so annoyed when somebody stands up and they don't say, Mr. Trump, how do you get your shirt so crisp and white? It's, you, as you say, I mean, look, you're running for public office. If you can't handle that question, especially given the rhetoric that he's laid out, come on.
He's all bark. It's hilarious.
He is all bark. I would like to see, more of how Anderson Cooper handled. I didn't even know they did that interview.
There's a little more of the video that we'll go to in just a second.
That's what Trump does, and I want to see if Anderson Cooper let him get away with that. I mean, if you got to say you can't handle that, that's what I would say. Just make him look like the wimp that he is, because that's what a bully does, right? So when you stand up to the bully, he just kind of retreats, and that's what he's doing right there. And what Anderson Cooper should have said, no, you're not going to answer the guy's question. That's why we're here.
That's exactly right. But of course, Anderson Cooper isn't going to challenge
He's
it.
He's like, no,
we didn't do it.
I didn't. Come on, give me a break.
But it's the obsession with access, right? Having Donald Trump on your network is a big get. And if you ask him the tough questions, well, then he's going to have a fit, just like he did with Megyn Kelly, and refuse to do a debate or refuse to appear on the network.
And just like he began to do there, I guess, it's CNN. I get it. So this is what I'm going to get at CNN. I'm going to get these kinds of questions. You got that right away. Oh, my God. I hope he doesn't get too angry at us.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
That's so true. So let's look at the second video that gives you his answer to that pretty tough question that I liked.
Nobody has more respect for women than I do. 30 years ago, I had a woman building a major construction job in New York City, and that never happens. That just didn't happen. I have so many women executives. In fact, your people actually came over and checked, and they couldn't believe it. I have so many women executives. I have been great to women, and women have been great to me. They've done a great job.
He has binders full of women, right? Some of his best employees have been women. They love him. Get out of here.
The women love him so much, they don't even prosecute him when he rapes them. His wife talked about how...
Oh, that's right.
His own wife talked about how she was sexually assaulted by him. Of course, he gave her some money, and now she has to shut up about it. She's not allowed to talk about it. So Donald Trump, a disgusting human being, and it's nice that Anderson Cooper is very nice to him.
Yeah, Anderson Cooper was very nice to him. He immediately changed the topic after he gave that answer. So he started off by saying, women love me. I hire women to work for me. They love me, right? That's basically his answer. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. And then right after, he's like, people don't like me because I bring up the issues that people don't want to talk about. I bring up immigration. I bring up those Muslims, and people don't like it. Yeah, people don't like it because you're racist and you're bigoted, and when you bring up the issue of immigration, it's a non-issue in the country at the moment. We have more Mexican immigrants leaving the U.S. than coming in. And so we're talking about building walls. We're talking about an issue that we're not really having a problem with right now. Why don't we focus on real problems, right? Like the economy. What would he do to fix the economy? He hasn't outlined a comprehensive economic plan. That's because he doesn't have one.
And it's because he has latched onto the emotional triggers as opposed to the things that really affect us. As you say, the immigration thing, really, when you look at it, isn't the issue. I mean, the immigration from south of the border, as you suggest, is going the other way.
Right.
So, but he has found the emotional triggers, and they've worked. And he's just made such great political hay with that he continues.
Right, and I think that the reason why those emotional triggers resonate with so many low-information Republican voters is because they're angry, right? They're feeling the government corruption, but they don't understand what's really at play there.
Because
so
their media lies to them.
Their media lies to them, which is why I refer to them as low information voters. I don't think that they're dumb, right? I think that they're ignorant,
yes.
right? Because if you're aware of what's happening in government right now, if you're aware of the political corruption, if you're aware of why your wages are stagnant or why you're living in poverty, then you're not going to be obsessed or upset, I should say, at your fellow middle class or working class in person. You know, you're going to be upset at the system that's holding you down. They don't know that. And so Donald Trump takes advantage of that ignorance, and it's really frustrating to see because it's working.
Yes, it's propaganda and the easily manipulated. And so, you know, I agree with you that they're ignorant, they're not dumb, but there is certainly an incuriosity about them. There's something wrong with them because we live in a day and age of the internet. And if you're ignorant about stuff that you care about, that's your own fault. Before you get in a car, take time out of your day, go to a library, look stuff up. I don't even know how to use the stupid, whatever they have in the library. I don't go. And what are they, the Dewey Decimal System and the whole thing, and microfilm. I'm not going to do, but you all right here. What is it? What is Trump's position on this? What is that? You got it right on your phone. So if you're ignorant to the fact that your right-wing media, but they don't care. It's that cognitive dissonance. Ted Cruz has been given 30 million Pinocchios from PolitiFact. Like 90% of his statements are all pants on fire, and no one gives a shit, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with Donald Trump. He can't find tape of Muslims cheering 9/11, but he can't find video of Mexicans in Morocco, which is amazing, right? So, and they just don't give a shit, right? I was talking to a Trump voter in Jefferson, Iowa, and I said, Ted Cruz has taken $36 million from 4 different donors. Now, if he's taking that kind of money from 4 guys, how can he represent the people? And she just said, I don't believe he's doing that. It's your
right
phone.
here.
Look it up.
No, that's another thing that drives me crazy. The people who are so sure about their political position that even if you give them evidence that says otherwise, they just straight out reject it. And it's frustrating. I mean, like yesterday, for instance, someone sent me a link to a Slate article that was written about Bernie Sanders and how he wasn't as pro-gay rights as everyone thinks he is. And the first thing I did is I opened it up. I'm like, I got to read this. Maybe there's something in there that I was missing. And I read it, and the writer is basically arguing that, yeah, he voted against DOMA, but he did it for the wrong reasons. He believes that gay rights is a states' rights issue. He voted against DOMA, dude. Move it along,
yes.
right? So, but here's the thing: like that information is important. If there's info there that goes against what you believe, don't reject it. Take it in. Be smarter. It's
okay. But these are almost faith-based voters. As I hear, that's really what you're getting.
Yeah.
It's like arguing with somebody over Jesus. Don't bother. Their position on Jesus, your position on Jesus is not going to be compromised. There's nothing they can say, and there's nothing you can say. And that's kind of what you're saying is happening on the GOP side of things.
Absolutely.
Yes, you can't reason someone out of a position they didn't reason themselves into.
Exactly.
Right? That's what we're talking about. And I also read another quote recently that it's easier to deceive someone than to convince someone they're being deceived.